Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Lebanese American University course of Media and Palestine. Today is November 29th, the International Day of Solidarity with the Palestinian people, as declared by the United Nations.
According to UNESCO, the date of 29 November is observed as the International Day of Solidarity with the Palestinian People since 1978. This date, which was chosen because of its meaning and significance to the Palestinian people, is based on the call by the United Nations General Assembly for an annual observance of the resolution on the partition of Palestine, what has become known as the Partition Plan, adopted on 29 November 1947. Today marks 75 years since the Partition Plan, and UNESCO says the International Day of Solidarity provides an opportunity for the international community to focus its attention on the fact that the question of Palestine remains unresolved and that the Palestinian people have yet to attain their inalienable rights as defined by the General Assembly, namely the right to self-determination without external interference, the right of national independence and sovereignty, and the right to return to their homes and property from which they have been displaced.
Students in the Media and Palestine course will be hosting this live broadcast with the support of the Palestinian Culture Club at LAU. The broadcast will feature student produced podcasts, videos, and a multimedia feature regarding several topics, as well as surprise guests. We will be back with our first segment.
In 2022 is the International Day of Solidarity with the Palestinian People. For the occasion, the Lebanese American University's Media and Palestine class prepared a special broadcast. Students created and curated multimedia projects that center the voices of Palestinians in Lebanon and Palestine. The focus of the broadcast is their struggles and experiences over the years. The broadcast will cover themes of the right to education, the effects of the economy on mental health, the right to property ownership, the right of return, the right to live, and will include elements of oral history. Tune in at 3:30 p.m. this Tuesday, November 29, in person in the Safadi Fine Arts Building lobby or on our YouTube live stream. November 29, 2022 is the International Day of Solidarity with the Palestinian People. For the occasion, the Lebanese American University's Media and Palestine class prepared a special broadcast. Students created and curated multimedia projects that center the voices of Palestinians in Lebanon and Palestine. The focus of the broadcast is their struggles and experiences over the years. The broadcast will cover themes of the right to education, the effects of the economy on mental health, the right to property ownership, the right of return, the right to live, and will include elements of oral history. Tune in at 3:30 p.m. this Tuesday, November 29, in person in the Safadi Fine Arts Building lobby or on our YouTube live stream. November 29, 2022 is the International Day of Solidarity with the Palestinian People. For the occasion, the Lebanese American University's Media and Palestine class prepared a special broadcast. Students created and curated multimedia projects that center the voices of Palestinians in Lebanon and Palestine. The focus of the broadcast is their struggles and experiences over the years. The broadcast will cover themes of the right to education, the effects of the economy on mental health, the right to property ownership, the right of return, the right to live, and will include elements of oral history. Tune in at 3:30 p.m. this Tuesday, November 29, in person in the Safadi Fine Arts Building lobby or on our YouTube live stream. November 29, 2022 is the International Day of Solidarity with the Palestinian People. For the occasion,
29 نوفمبر هو اليوم الدولي العالمي للتضامن مع الشعب الفلسطيني. لهذه المناسبة قام صف الإعلام وفلسطين في الجامعة اللبنانية الأمريكية بإعداد جلسة إذاعية خاصة. قام الطلاب بابتكار وإنشاء وتجميع مشاريع إعلامية مرئية وصوتية تتمركز حول إيصال الأصوات الفلسطينية في فلسطين ولبنان. يركز البث المباشر على نضالهم والتجارب المرة التي مروا بها على مر السنين. سيتناول البث الإذاعي مواضيع تشمل حق التعليم وتأثير الاقتصاد على الصحة النفسية، وحق الملكية، وحق العودة، والحق في الحياة، بالإضافة إلى عناصر من التاريخ الشفوي. تابعونا اليوم شخصياً الساعة 3:30 في قاعة مبنى الصفدي للفنون الجميلة في حرم الجامعة اللبنانية الأمريكية، أو على البث المباشر على قناة يوتيوب.
Hello, everyone. I'm Mohammed Abu Samhadana, the president of the PCC at Lebanese American University.
Hello, my name is Despina Damianidu. I'm a master's student in international security, and we are very happy to have with us today Leila Khalid, an icon of Palestinian liberation. Thank you very much for being with us, and we would very much like to listen to your comments.
It's a great pleasure that I am in front of a new generation who is interested in Palestine. This means that I am very comfortable that I began my struggle very early, يعني in an age of 15. And now I see the new generation okay. Now you hear me clearly. It's my honor to be with you today, and it's a unique one because I'm in a university where I was in the other university. But this is the first time I come here to look at your faces, that you are happy generation because you have hopes. And I'm very thankful to you, Dr. Gretchen, that she teaches Palestine, which means that you are interested in Palestine. And you know Palestine not only in your conscience, but also in your attitude. I think this generation will be a light for the others to come and to hear about Palestine. We were not allowed to study Palestine at AUB when I was there. We were not allowed to study that. But we were aware that Palestine is a homeland for Palestinians to return one day to Palestine. I'm waiting for this return also. But this time, you will be all together coming to Palestine to ensure that this land is for its people and it's not for others. A lot of colonizers came to Palestine through deep history. And they left because of resistance of the Palestinians. And I'm sure that you know how many uprisings and revolutions happened in Palestine. The people are still there. The land is still there. It's stolen now, but we will not leave those who steal and for the theft of Palestine. We will not. You will not accept. And I'm sure that you will do your best to turn back the stolen land for a people who is waiting for their return.
Thank you so much for these words. It was very important for us to have you with us today and share all those thoughts, particularly in this day. So stay tuned, and we will be continuing with the president of the PCC.
First of all, the hope that we have now, it is from your struggle, and we thank you very much.
to have questions from you because I'm the old generation. You are the new generation. Your questions are different from mine, but I have answers also from my يعني early age of struggle until now. And I know that you would like to hear about how I was involved in this. Anybody who asks why, I will answer as Socrates said, why not? It's our homeland. We were forced to leave this homeland. I still have very short memories of Palestine. I remember all the time the staircase when the clashes with the Zionists in front in the same street where we were living. I still remember this until now because we were running down to hide because uh, we didn't have shelters. We just go down and under the stairs we stay there until there is a stop of يعني shooting. My friend was called Tamara. She was a Jewish, but was a Palestinian. So all the time, when I hear my mother that she will take us to Lebanon because her family was there and still there, I ask, is Tamara coming or not? And when my mother answered this question, that Tamara is not coming, I told her, why? So I asked her mother, why don't you want to come with us to Lebanon? Because there are clashes here. She told my mother, come and sit with us in the same house. And of course, my mother was afraid. Why I am saying that? Because, you know, in your childhood, you remember all the details, but after that, you forget. But some details are in here, planted in the mind and in the heart. To lose your homeland, this is the catastrophe. Yes, it is the Nakba. And the answer for why I was involved, like others, I'm not the first one to, yeah, to be involved in struggle. There were a lot of women before us also. And because I'm a woman, I feel that our struggle is double than what men do because we face two things. We face the enemy itself and we face also the old traditions that will hinder women from being active for their homeland and for the national. I joined the Arab National Movement because my brother was at AUB. He was graduated and he was the ANM Arab National Movement was established at AUB by many doctors like George Habash, Wadi Haddad, Dr. Ahmad Khatib from different Arab countries. And I joined it, but I was not accepted as a member because I was still young, 14 years old. And I said, I can do what you do, yani, like my brothers and sisters. I distribute pamphlets. And to distribute a pamphlet at that era of time, it means that you are considered as if you are making war crimes. That was in Lebanon. This is in the 50s, and then the 60s, and afterwards. Then I couldn't continue my studies because my father was paralyzed. My brother was the only one who worked, and he went to Kuwait to work as an engineer. And I am number 6 in the family because we were 12. 5 brothers and 7 sisters. I don't know, the Palestinian families, maybe they faced the Nakba with more children to defend their existence. And this is not, nobody told, it wasn't a culture. But before they felt, the Palestinians who were kicked out of Palestine felt that they are under genocide. So they want to keep the generation after generation. This is one of the things. But also that Palestinians send their daughters to schools because they felt that this choice is the only choice for a Palestinian without a homeland. That's why now, until now, we can say that the Palestinian people, they have the least illiteracy among the Arab countries. Then in 1969, I left Kuwait and I came to join the revolution. The minute I arrived to Lebanon, because we couldn't come here before 1968, and because the war broke out and all the between Arab countries, they cannot fly by planes. Anyhow, I came here, went to the training camp that was a military one in Jordan. I didn't sleep 3 nights at the training camp because I felt now we are holding our cause by our hands, not depending on the Arab regimes. For this reason, I couldn't sleep. All the time I want to know something new in this. One day, I was called by a messenger to come to Lebanon. I thought that my mother said for PFLP, the Popular Front for Liberation of Palestine, because she knew the leadership, that let her go back to work and to help the family. There were 7 children going to schools. ايش مش سامعين؟ مش سامعين؟ كل هالحكي وبعد ما مش سامعين؟ ليه؟ مش كتير. طب كيف ممكن يصير تعرفوا انا بقدر اعلي صوتي وانا بدون مايكروفون. I can speak loudly, better than.
It's better to use the microphone because we're recording and we're broadcasting live. So yes, there's people in the room, but if people in the room are quieter, it'll be easier to hear.
Okay. So even if you don't hear from the microphone, I can and I can speak to you all. It's why?
You can turn it, but it's fine. But be careful.
Uh,
Yeah, make your phone.
is it okay like this? Mm. The first mission I was asked to do is to hijack a plane. When I came here, I saw Dr. Wadi Haddad, who was in charge. And he told me, "Are you ready to die for Palestine?" I said, "You're sending for me a messenger to come to bring me here to ask me this question?" Of course. I said, "This is not the question. What is the question? Are you ready to go to prison?" I said, "Yes, of course." "But why are you asking these questions?" He said, "Are you ready to hijack a plane?" I said, "What?" This is something very new, very unique. We never heard about hijacking, never in our life. And I began to laugh. He said, "Why are you laughing?" He said, "I imagine myself carrying a plane over my shoulder and the people is running after me." He said, "No, they will not. You will hijack them in the plane." What? So it was something as if يعني, it's يعني, we can't do it. Or what is this يعني, this mission? So I wanted to know how and why and all these things. It took time to to know how to hijack. And I had to read more about aviation. And at the same time, I have to see a plane. These like clocks, to know each one what is its role. So I had to read a lot and then to write down the questions. The first question, why are we doing this? And the answer was to release the prisoners from Israeli jails. And I know some of them, especially the women, because we were having training together. So then we had also discussion. And if we had any question, we have to ask and to get the answer. But not all the time to ask questions, because the answers should be according to the knowledge that one should receive. This is one thing that we had to do it. Then the second thing, don't hurt anybody on board, neither the passengers, neither of course, the pilot, the first one to be taken care of. And then I was told, I will be alone. No, there is another one with you. Where is he? He said, this is not the question you ask. When it's time to see him, you will see him. So we went both after we had the training and so on. I was happy, not because to hijack a plane, because I'm going to fly over Palestine. That was the main reason for me to to be quicker in understanding and ask questions and writing down notes and so on. So we went to the airport. I had شو عبوة بالإنجليزي bomb. It's TNT, 10 kilos TNT. This is for the end of the journey. I had a hand grenade. It was in my pocket, and a pistol. So And my comrade also had a pistol only. Mind you, there was not checking. Now you see this because of us. Sorry. So we went through and we were told that there is a high rank personality, an Israeli one. By the way, it was Rabin. He was the ambassador of Israel in Washington. And he was coming on that plane. It was a TWA, American one. And we knew that there will be Israelis on it. Anyhow, while I was waiting at the gate to get in, I saw a girl written on her T-shirt, written, "Be friends." I wanted to hug her and tell her I want to be friends. I hope you are not going to this plane. But of course, I can't do that. It touched my heart. So then we came down. No tunnels, these tunnels, that is, everything is old. So I reached the bus. A man came, sat beside me, and he began to ask, "Where are you from?" My mind is not with him now on the bus. I'm waiting to go to the plane. So I said, "Yes." So he began to, I told him, "Where are you from?" He said, "I'm Greek. And for 15 years, I was in Chicago. Now I'm coming to see my mother." I looked at him and turned my face. Who shall I tell this man? Go out. Yani. But I remembered my father, that he had a permission in 1964 to meet his mother who was still in Palestine. And he waited 3 nights at the gate, Mendelbaum Gate in Jerusalem. He didn't see his mother. He died and she died. No one knew about the other, that, and he never met her. So I said, why all my feelings began to come up. Now this is not the time of feelings, Layla, in myself. Now it's the time for work. We reached the plane and we sat in the first class. We were to go to Athens because the plane lands in Athens and Tel Aviv then. So, of course, we're not going to Athens, neither to Tel Aviv. So I spoke for the hostess came. "What would you like to drink? We have champagne. We have a." I told her, "Please, I'm cold. I feel cold. Give me the cover." Yeah, she gave me a cover. Then we waited until half an hour. Half an hour, the plane reaches its highest height. يعني, about 35 or 36 feet over sea level. At that moment, when I saw the water, then we stood up, me and my comrade went to the cockpit directly. A hostess was there and she had a tray. She threw it and I went in. I took the hand grenade and told the pilot, "Do you know what is this?" He said, yes. His name something Carter. And I said, what is this? As if we are playing games. And I was very calm. He said, this is a hand grenade. I took the pin out and I told him, take this souvenir. We are Palestinians. He never heard that about Palestinians. We are from a unit called Che Guevara unit. This is a language of military, anything. And we're not going to land in Athens. We are going to Tel Aviv. He said, but I'm going to Tel Aviv. I said, yes, I know. But so I gave him a map, a new map. In flights, they have lines, like streets, yani. But in this one, I told him directly we go to Tel Aviv. All the way, we have changed the code also. The code was PFLP, Free Arab Palestine. So we don't answer unless in the land, the stations, they call us by this new one. When we reached over Palestine, I told the pilot, you have to land. And we began to land. But he didn't find a place to land because all the runways were blocked. So he told me, what shall I do? Then I told him, turn around, we are visiting our homeland. So his eye was, please put your hand on be comfortable, put your hand. I told him, don't be afraid. I'm not going to kill myself for nothing. On my shoulder, keep it on my shoulder all the time. The man, the Israeli on the tower, did not, he began to swear. And I told him, if you don't answer, we are happy, we are visiting our homeland. All the time I was telling our story to the passengers, telling the story for the pilot and the co-pilot. Then the co-pilot said, please give me the microphone. I gave him the microphone. He said, this is the Popular Front Free Arab Palestine. If you don't answer with this code, the plane will be exploded. I told him, why did you say that? He said, I'm your co-pilot. I told him, no, you are not my co-pilot. I'm the pilot. And he said, I'm the co-pilot. He wanted to discuss what's his position in that moment. So this Israeli said, Popular Front Free Arab Palestine. I said, I'm not hearing you well. Repeat it 3 times. And then I have to send messages. All the time we send messages for the stations. For Egypt, for Cyprus, for Athens, for Rome, we send messages. But after that, he said, the pilot, what shall I do? I can't land. I said, I know, but take us to Haifa. This is the city where I was born. And my comrade, the same thing. And we are refugees. For this reason, we don't want to hurt you. We don't want to hurt anybody. We want to release our prisoners in our homeland. So he took us to Haifa. It was a moment I can't now tell you how I felt. That I'm coming back, but this time with another means, not the return for us as a political step for our struggle. And then we went to Damascus. Sometimes you meet things while you're doing that. The tower in Lebanon is speaking to the tower in Damascus. Look, who is this woman there? There is a woman on the plane, she is talking to us. And the other one was saying, yes, I hear her. Where are you going? I told the Lebanese one, no, 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 we're not going to come to Beirut. You have paid the bill before. At that time, Israel raided the Lebanese airport and destroyed 13 Middle East planes. So I said for Damascus, we are coming to you. This airport was new and it wasn't working at that time. So I told the Syrians, we are bringing you as we do when in our countries we build a house, we يعني bring a sheep يعني as a شو what يعني قربان شو القربان hmm? Yeah, to sacrifice for they bring a sheep for it, a lamb or whatever, and for a new airport should be a plane and not a يعني lamb. So we are bringing this. When we finished, we donated and went down, and all the passengers went down and the pilot and all the crew. And then we were coming towards uh, the building. But 6 people, including 2 women and 4 men, went to the other side. The police came and he was telling me, run. He doesn't know who hijacked this plane. I told him, look, the Israelis is there. And it really was. The Israelis were going to the siege and not to the. They brought them, and of course, we were yani, detained for some days. Then we left back. I was very happy at that moment that we are back now to continue the struggle. And until now, I'm continuing the struggle.
Hi, my name is Zani Khudir, and I'm a communication student at LAU.
Hi, Carly Aziz, majoring in communication arts and minoring in multimedia journalism.
Hi, I'm Nada Tufaili, and I'm majoring in psychology and minoring in multimedia journalism.
Hello, my name is Tala Farouk. I'm majoring in communication.
Hi, my name is Dani Abi Hadir, and I'm a major in psychology. Imagine living in a country away from your homeland without having a choice and being discriminated against solely based on your nationality, especially in the workforce. How can someone survive these restrictions when they just want to live a life free of prejudice?
Our podcast thus attempts to highlight Palestinian struggles in Lebanon and bring forth their mental health concerns to light. Voices from Ms. Leila Khouri from the Lebanese Palestinian Dialogue Committee, Dr. Lina Haddad Graidiye, a political psychologist and part of the Intisar Foundation team, and Muhammad Jamal, president of the Palestinian Cultural Club here at LAU, all are sharing their point of view and personal experience of the current situation.
So I don't know why, but your podcast is not No, your podcast is not.
We'll just wait.
I'm going to try to play it from a different screen, but in the meantime, just chat.
Want to go for
Yeah, you
Chat
want-
about the process.
We can talk about the process, yes.
Yeah.
In one second.
Hi, Carly Aziz again. A bit into the technical part of our podcast. It is an audio representation of the issue Palestinians usually face when Palestinian refugees, specifically in Lebanon, when they are looking for a job or even choosing a major priorly. We used ambient sound to specifically portray and communicate the struggles and the discomfort Palestinians usually face when searching for a job, and we correlated all of that, as per my colleagues mentioned, to the economic and the mental health impacts and consequences this issue has. Our podcast is not by itself a solution; it is rather a call to action. We're raising the voice for both the Lebanese society and the Lebanese government to actually change the law, and for the Lebanese society to change their perception, because both Lebanese, Palestinians, Syrians, or anyone deserves to have a modest job and deserve to learn whatever they want to learn, regardless of what types of jobs is offered to them after that. Thank you so much. We're just waiting for our podcast to air.
With our interview first, and then the podcast ماشي قبل ما يفوت. ما أسير. Okay. Doctor, we're thinking of doing all of the interviews and then at the end of the
So we're gonna do an interview now. مرحبا، معنا اليوم أسيل صبح، طالبة فلسطينية بالجامعة اللبنانية الأمريكية. كلاجئة فلسطينية مقيمة بلبنان، وتحديدا كطالبة جامعية عم تجرب تأسس حياتها المهنية. شو هي أمالك بالمستقبل بالرغم من القيود الموجودة على الفلسطينيين ببلدنا؟
مرحبا، اسمي أسيل صباح. I study political science and international affairs. يمكن نحن كلاجئين فلسطينيين بلبنان بحس إنه ما عنا شيء غير تعليمنا لحتى يوصل لنا مطارح كتير عالية. فأمالي بالمستقبل سؤال كتير صعب إنه يجاوب بدقيقة أو دقيقتين، بس بتمنى نوصل لمطرح يطلع مش بس لبنان، أي دولة من ديلاما تعيت إنه أنتم بحق لكم أنتم ما بحق لكم، لأنه بس واحد يروح يقدم على الشغل وينرفض بس لأنه هو من دولة معينة. it's unfair. ما مش لازم أي حدا هيك يتعامل. وأنا كأسيل أبوي مهندس، درس هندسة 5 سنين، بس راح يقدم على شغل قالوا له ما فيك تشتغل لأنك أنت فلسطيني، فعمل سويتش من هندسة لمعلم فيزيكس وماث. he's earning a fortune مما إنه كان بيقدر ياخد أضعاف اللي هلا هو عم ياخده. ف I think it's unfair again for anyone to be treated this way. and بتمنى كمان الناس يبلشوا يتطلعوا على اللاجئين الفلسطينيين من ناحية skills, determination, their passion to everything، مع أنهم يكونوا بس طلاب أو ناس عندهم هاي جنسية ما فيهن يشتغلوا بهذا الشغل. Yes, thank you.
شكرا كثير على وقتك وعلى المقابلة.
So much, أسيل.
major لأنه بعيد عن أي نقابة.
Hello, so here with us today is Dr. Mary Habib, a Palestinian professor of economics at LAU. Now, we have heard backlash from people stating that granting more work access for Palestinians in Lebanon will lead to financial and economic collapse. Mainly people stating that it will lead to less work opportunities for people and for Lebanese citizens. As an economist, do you believe that expanding the access for Palestinians for work in Lebanon will have a negative impact on the economy? And will that lead to less work opportunities for Lebanese people, or will it actually be beneficial?
I think this argument is a sorry to say it, is a lame argument. It has never held any water in empirical research. And anyway, how could barring a person from a job for which he is perfectly qualified lead to an undermining of the Lebanese economy? On the contrary, with the brain drain that we're seeing now in Lebanon, with all these professionals immigrating outside the country, they're immigrating not because of the Palestinians, they're immigrating because of the economic crisis in the country. There's a brain drain in the sector of doctors, of engineers, of lawyers, of pharmacists, of nurses. There's a shortage, there's a labor shortage. So as an economist, before I'm a Palestinian, as an economist, this is against all economic theory that talks about free markets and labor markets that are based on qualifications as opposed to something else. So, and definitely this will be good for the Lebanese economy if Palestinians are allowed, especially if they're qualified. Anyway, for them to apply to a job, they have to be qualified because they have no networks, they have no connections, they have no wasta, so-called wasta. So the only thing that they depend on is their qualifications. So when they apply to a doctor job or to an engineer job or to a nursing job or to a pharmacist job, that means that they know they have the qualifications for it. Otherwise, they wouldn't apply. So definitely it would improve the Lebanese economy if they are allowed to participate in these jobs, in these sectors from which they've been deprived of taking part of. And this is one of the biggest injustices that has ever been inflicted on any Palestinian community. The Palestinians in Jordan do not face that. The Palestinians in Syria do not face that. And this is why the Palestinians in Lebanon, unfortunately, have fared worse than any other Palestinian refugees anywhere in the world.
Thank you so much. We as a team agree with you. We should evaluate people based on their capabilities and not their nationalities. Thank you so much for sharing your opinion.
Thank you.
Thank you. And now I think we will continue with our podcast, Trader.
اخترت هيدا الميجر لأنه بعيد عن أي نقابة بلبنان. الدستور اللبناني بيمنع الفلسطيني يدرس بأي اختصاص خاص بالنقابة مثل الهندسة أو الطبابة.
Sectors that Palestinians are able to work in currently are extremely limited.
They become the target for every legal, social, economic blame. Many of them born in Lebanon, speak Lebanese, went to Lebanese schools, and they are still seen as not included. So this factor adds to the trauma.
It was found that in the camps and gatherings, there's actually many fewer Palestinians than people thought that there were. Many have emigrated. Many of those who have the possibility to leave have left, and I'm sure only more since the Lebanese economic and financial crisis.
لبنان هو سياسيا هو بلد مقسم سياسيا عنصريا وحتى جغرافيا عنصري كمان، فما بالك إذا كان في فئة معينة من الشعب موجود اللي هي الفئة الفلسطينية، فأكيد مش رح يكون لها مكان أو فرص عمل موجودة، لأنه بهذا الوقت حتى اللبناني مش ملاقي فرص عمل، فما بالك الفلسطيني.
There's always slight job competition when you grant access to more people or when there's immigration. That's the case in other countries as well. But I also think I see a lot of need in many fields. For example, nursing. We need more nurses. There are many Palestinians who've already integrated over the year. Let's, in one way or another, even without integrating, have formed such a crucial part of the fabric of Lebanese society, culturally, professionally, intellectually.
Hello, my name is Katrine. I'm an exchange student from Denmark and my major is journalism.
Hello, my name is Maisa Al-Ajjan and I'm a master's student of multimedia journalism at Lebanese American University.
Hello everyone, my name is Despina Lumianidu and I'm a master's student in international security.
Hi, I'm Christina Cavalcanti. I'm a master's student in multimedia journalism. So, as many of us already know, life for Palestinians is a double-edged sword in Lebanon. They've been forcibly exiled from Palestine since the Nakba in 1948. And since then, they've become refugees inside Palestine and in Lebanon. So under international law, they should have the right of return, so the right to go back to their property and their homes in Palestine, unfortunately. However, Palestinians in Lebanon have not been able to return for various reasons. But if they can't return to their homeland, under international law, they should also at least be given the right to live a dignified life here. But again, that's not been the case. So Palestinians in Lebanon are prohibited from working in just over 70 positions, and they struggle with high levels of poverty and unemployment, even when they do have university degrees in various fields. So our group decided to tackle this topic by asking the questions, what is life really like for Palestinians in Lebanon? And how do they feel about the right of return? We decided to focus on young adults because they're affected, they're in the workforce. And we spoke to them and NGO coordinators in the Shatila camp to produce this podcast. So we're going to be playing snippets from it. And it's called Caught in the Middle on the Right of Return and the Right to Live.
So you will be listening first to one part of it, and then we will continue a bit with our narration, so you will be able to to hear more about the work we did in the camps.
وعايش في مخيم شتيلة.
روان الشعبي عمري 24 سنة، تخرجت من سنتين، فلسطينية من المخيم.
رشا غزلان عمري 24 سنة، تخرجت كمان من سنتين، درسي إدارة أعمال وفلسطينية من المخيم.
أنا أحمد حليمي عمري 20 سنة، كمبيوتر ساينس ستودنت، وبشتغل مع الورد فيجن.
خالد الزهري خرجت من 7 سنين، وهلا عم بشتغل هون بالصمود بالمخيم.
شو يعني حق العودة بالنسبة لكم؟
Under international law, specifically the Geneva Conventions of 1949, Palestinians have the right to return to their homes and property in Palestine.
كله بيطمح انه يرجع على ارضه ويرجع على بلده ويبطل لاجئ. يعني كلمة لاجئ تنمسح من هويته. بس هالشي شبه مستحيل. فأنا ما بأمن فيه بالوقت الحالي.
كانت ستي تحكي، أبوي يحكي وهيك، وإنه كيف كانت البيوت هيك حلوين وكبار، ما بعرف شو، والأحجار بالصخر والمساحات الكبيرة.
وهيك يعني حسب ما أنا وصفت لستي اللي هي بتصف دائما، شجر كتير وليمون كتير وزيتون كتير، وكانوا هن بيوت صغيرة بقلب هاي زي القرية.
صفد هي صايرة مثل كأنه جبل. هي مشهورة بالحمضيات، يعني مثل ما كان يقول لي جدي وحتى على الصور مثل ما شفتها، هي قرية ومدينة بنفس الوقت. يعني فيها مدينة وفيها قرية وفيها أراضي خصبة صالحة للزراعة، زراعة الحمضيات، والخضار فيها يعني شيء بيشبه الجنة. أنا من جهة نظري بشوفها مثل الجنة.
حق العودة إنه نحن إلنا حق بفلسطين ورح يرجع لنا يوم ما. هذا حق العودة، لأنه نحن طلعنا من بيوتنا مش بإرادتنا. لما أجدادنا طلعوا من بيوتهم مش بإرادتهم.
حق العودة هو اعتراف إنه نحن عنا أرض وبدنا نرجع لها بالنهار، إنه في شيء إلنا وطن، يعني مش أجانب. ما بظن في فلسطيني بينسى إنه في حق للعودة.
ممكن يكون عندكم حنين لمحل انتوا ولا مرة شفتوه؟
طبعا يمكن عارفة الجوز بومبس هدول اللي بيطلعوا، هلا احنا عم نحكي اكيد كلنا عنا من هدول، فاكيد عنا الحنين، واكيد يعني كل واحد فينا بيجاهد بطريقته لحتى نوصل او نوصل شيء حتى لفلسطين لجوا. بنشتاق للبلد اللي احنا اصلا بعدنا ما وصلنا له اكيد.
فالواحد بحس بحنين انه.
So, welcome back to our live broadcast. A few words about why we chose the specific topic is that we were very much inspired during our class by filmmakers like Malak Khalid and Mai Masri that tried to put in the center of their films the voices of the Palestinian people. And this is exactly what we try to do. So, we went to the Shatila camp to follow exactly the footsteps of those people and try to put the voices of the Palestinians in the center of our narration. There, however, we realized that it's more than just the right of return that those people are struggling with, but it's also the living conditions. People that are legally and socially marginalized. Exactly. So this is what we're trying to raise through our podcast.
Yes, and what really struck us was the acute awareness of the youth of their condition.
Closer to your mouth. Perfect.
Okay. Yeah. And what really struck us was the acute awareness of the Palestinian youth of their condition and of their marginalization.
So now we will be continuing with our podcast. We invite you to listen to one more part of it, and you can find the whole podcast in our website.
the right of return.
It's my responsibility to tell my children, to tell all the children who are coming to our centers, to tell them they are Palestinians and their roots are in Palestine. But this is a long years we are guests in Lebanon. We should go them back to our homeland. The Palestinian problem is the Palestinian refugees, because we have 7 million refugees. It's not West Bank and Gaza.
Do you ever wonder how different life would be if Lebanon was the country promised for the lost Jews? How would it feel if our heritage and culture were the ones to be stolen, questioned, and denied? The conditions of these camps have deteriorated greatly since then, but Palestinians do not have the right of ownership in Lebanon.
أصبح عندي الآن بندقي إلى فلسطين خذوني معكم إلى القباب الخضر والحجارات النبية.
Hello, everybody. I'm Sara Maaz, and I'm a communications major. This podcast that we all produced, it's about how Palestinians do not have the right of ownership in Lebanon. We think it doesn't make sense, and we have the right to do so. Let me run back. In 1948, Palestinians had to were evicted from their homes, from their historical homes in Palestine, so that they can make room for the Jews, although it's their rightful land. So when they came to Lebanon, they built camps, temporary ones that were supposed to be sanctuary until they came back. But till now, they have not yet returned, which is sorrowful. But 74 years and they still have not got the right to ownership is very confusing. Don't forget, this is 2022. We have generations of Palestinians that have been born and have lived in Lebanon. So to think that they cannot have ownership is laughable at this point. It's humiliating. Don't take it from me, but two of our live guests in the podcast, they were saying that they are our age. They were saying that we were born in Lebanon. My parents were born in Lebanon, and some of their grandparents were born in Lebanon. So it doesn't make sense that they do not have the right to own their property. One of them said that they live in a house. They pay the bills. They've decorated everything. They made it their own, but it's not in their name. It's in the name of the cousin who is Lebanese, and they might run the chance and risk of having it whisked away at any point. And what about the Palestinians in the camps? They have not been rehabilitated and fixed ever since 1948. It's dangerous, and when they want permits to fix it, they do not get them. The Lebanese army dismisses the permits and rejects them, which is really bad.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sarah Jamal. I'm also a part of the No Ownership Property in Lebanon. I'm majoring in communications. Like many of Lebanon's estimated 280,000 Palestinians, many Palestinian families came to Lebanon in 1948 after being evicted from their homes by the Israelis. We all have an idea of how the Lebanese law grants no right of property ownership in Lebanon for the Palestinian refugees who came to settle. For the law serves to ban Palestinians living in Lebanon from owning property and passing inheritance. For that, we wanted to interview some experts in the field. Such experts like Leila Khouri, who is an active member of the LPDC, which is the Lebanese Palestinian Dialogue Committee. She managed to give us more information and guide us through the daily lives of Palestinians who struggle to settle in Lebanon and have no right of owning property. For Palestinians, it is still a part of a bleak picture. Owning property is a fundamental right for any human being. Everyone should own a place that they can call home.
Hello everyone, my name is Lin Kubaisi. I'm a senior at LEU and I'm majoring in communication. I'm also part of No Property Ownership team. 2019 was the year I enrolled in LEU as a freshman student. And I perfectly recall in one of my classes, I heard one of the students talking about his concerns on the right of ownership in Lebanon. And he was concerned because he was Palestinian and the right of ownership was deprived to all Palestinians. After that moment, I couldn't forget what he said, and that's what inspired us to talk about property ownership and how it affected and still affects Palestinians in Lebanon. So we wanted to know more about the future generation of the current Palestinian students that are investing their time studying in Lebanon, and they don't have the right to invest and own property. We also wanted to know about their future plans and how such decisions can affect their current life and future life.
Hello everyone, my name is Mona. I'm majoring in communication as well. So my role in the podcast that we mainly did was editing the interviews. And a good podcast edit involves removing all the fillers. But in our case, we avoided over editing, and we tried to make sure the message was conveyed in the most spontaneous, natural way possible. Our purpose is to display their struggle as it is and really transmit to the audience how devastating it is for Palestinians to be prohibited from one of their most basic rights, which is having a place to call home.
Speaking of devastating, while we were editing the podcast, we used melancholy and solemn music, which is vintage and has represented Palestinian liberation for so long. While we were doing that, repeating, sequencing, lowering and increasing the volume, it got to us. We started crying. Mona and I started crying. It's this devastating. Knowing that this reality is true, and listening to those not poor people, they're fine, but are they really fine? Our generation of Palestinians, they feel insecure in their homes. They're practically Lebanese, but they're still discriminated against. It feels unfair, and when you listen, it's horrible. It feels.
As Sarah mentioned, the podcast was very touching, and a lot of emotions were evicted when we were listening to all of the interviews, the music, and everything. It was such an important message to transmit to everyone. The right of ownership is the basic human rights for everyone. Everyone has the right to own and have a place that they can call home. Everyone has the right to own, but of course, in Lebanon, many foreigners and especially Palestinians are deprived of such rights.
When we were interviewing a PCC member who is our age, she's Palestinian, she has told us that when she's in schools, because she doesn't have the Palestinian passport, she's not the top priority. Although schools should not be discriminating people who are Lebanese or who are Jordanian, who are Palestinian, she felt the discrimination, and it has impacted her growing up. And knowing that, it's devastating that schools and housing are not available, although we claim that we invite refugees. Why do we call Palestinians just refugees? What happened to the brotherhood? We were all once one nation. Knowing how unique the Palestinian struggle is, we have to raise awareness and keep on doing that, because in generations to come, and this generation, everyone has a specific troublesome fact that's going on, and we need to address it. But the fact remains that Palestine will be free, and it's our goal for that to happen. Thank you so much.
على دلعونا وعلى دلعونا راحوا الحبايب ما ودعونا، على دلعونا وعلى دلعونا الله يسامحهم شو عذبونا. على دلعونا وعلى دلعونا يا ليلي طول على مجنونا، يا ليلي طول على اسمراني اسمر سماني لمسين عيونا. على دلعونا وليالي بدايب علي نسيونا وكنا قرايب، يا طير الطاير صوب الحبايب سلم لي علي كانوا يحبونا، ومثلك ما بلاقيه بالدنيا كلها، بيت الجمال ما خلق الله، نحنا لو بدنا بنات حي الله كنا جمعنا 100 مليونة. على دلعونا وعلى دلعونا يا ليلي طول على حبونا، يا ليلي طول على اسمراني اسمر سماني لمسين عيونا. ويا طير الطاير انه مشتاق وبدي من ظهور واديله باب، يا طير وقل بكره بنتلاقى مش رح ننساكم ياللي نسيتونا.
Hi, my name is Yasmin Joud and I'm a communication major.
Hi, my name is Yara Najdi and I'm a communication major. Hi, my name is Selina Atalla. I'm a communication arts student.
Hi, I'm Jana Alid, and I'm a communication major.
Hi, I'm Maxine Al-Aswad, and I'm a communication major.
Basically, what we did is we chose the topic of rights of education. And since the first thought that we had in our mind is we're so lucky during the whole this class, we were so lucky being in a safe environment, and we couldn't imagine how Palestinians or what were they going through. And this is how we got the idea to talk about rights of education. What we did basically is we interviewed people on campus, students, and Palestinian students as well. And we had an interview, shout out to Zina Nabhan. She's a student journalism, multimedia journalism at Beirut University in Palestine. We interviewed her, and we thank you, Zena, for all the effort and the input you had in this podcast. We're going to move on to the other podcast.
Hi, my name is Lil Sayed. I'm a communication major.
Hi, my name is Rena Akoush. I'm also a communication major.
Hi, my name is Romy Khnaiser. I'm a communications major minoring in audiovisual productions. And for us, we chose to create a video to document the oral history of Palestinian students at LEU, trying to personalize their stories to them and their experiences and relationships with Palestine. So we interviewed 3 guests, being Suad Aggad, Yasmin Taha, and Muhammad Hamadi, and gave them a space to speak about their visions of Palestine, their relationship with Palestine, and their families' personal memories of it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
في هذا الشيء كمان كتير بيفتخروا فيه الفلسطينيين، مفتاح بيتهم. وين ما راحوا بهالدنيا هذا المفتاح ما بيترك ايدهم. ان شاء الله يكبوا كل شنطتهم، هذا المفتاح بضل بايدهم، هذا مفتاح بيتي بفلسطين بضيعتي، وما راح اسيبه غير ما ارجع على بلدي وافتح باب بيتي.
أحاول من بعيد، يعني لو من بعيد بس أقدر أشوف الأرض، وكان شعور كتير حلو. يعني لما نزلت على جنوب لبنان أول ما أجيت على لبنان يعني اطلعت هيك على فلسطين، كانت كتير قريبة.
تخيل بس إنه إن شاء الله إذا رجعنا على فلسطين ورجعنا عندنا أعمار الضيعة، بتخيل إنه هيك لازم تكون البيوت، هيك لازم يكونوا الشجر، الأرض. عندي صورة هيك كتير بيرفكت عن الضيعة، لازم تكونوا إلا ما بعرف حتكون صدمة حياتي.
For the past 74 years or so, the Palestinians have been through occupation, genocide, racism, bankwashing, greenwashing, and many more. You would think today, being in the 21st century, the Palestinians would have seen an improvement, a single sight of hope. But imagine that, even their basic rights have been taken away from them. It was not enough to have their lands, their homes, their country, their families, integrity taken away, but also their education. You would think there is no way that anyone has no right of education today, right?
بيسكلي الفلسطيني ما له حق شيء بالبلد. يعني من اول ما اجوا الفلسطينيين على البلد ضربوهم بمخيمات، حطوا عليهم حيطان، واكبر مثلا مثل المخيم على الحلبة بصيدا، عاملين فات ومسيج، في فوزي وحده طلعه وحده منه. وبالاخر الشعب اللبناني بيصير يتصرف بعنصريه ضد الفلسطينيه لانه صار عم يطلع كميه زعران كميه فلتان من هيدي المخيمات اللي هو شيء كثير طبيعي لما ناس ما بيكون الا وسيله تطلع لقمه عيش الا انها
So أكيد they have the right إنه بحس إنه كل إنسان he has the right to have education regardless of his ethnicity أو شيء. I know many friends that are Palestinian and they have education, so ما في داعي إنه ما في أي سبب ما يكون فيه إنه برأيي.
I just think their access to education is very limited and they don't have full rights.
إنه أكيد كلاws it's not making it any easier for them. It's actually making it harder. بس ما فيهم بس لازم إنه to get the education they deserve.
As Palestinians in our university, first of all, it's not our right. It's not the occupation's right to enter our university and take whoever they want suddenly without even sending a warning. Second of all, a lot of students are forbidden from studying at university because they are detainees, as you know. There are many detainees that are university students. Also, we are forbidden from like when you are a university student, a lot of interactions happens between you and other friends, to get to know each other and contact with each other and make courses. But unfortunately, as Palestinians, it's really hard to if I want to exchange with a student, sometimes the occupation forbidden us from this thing because they say that's not our right because they're scared from us to share the true story, as you know.
Yeah.
So no, we're not having all the rights that we should have.
Thank you for listening and watching, and thanks to the chair of the Communication Arts and Languages Department, Dr. Bemardi, and to LAU staff members Fuad, George, Hala, Hodi, Farid, and Wasim for their assistance preparing today's broadcast. Thanks to our colleagues at Birzeit University in Palestine and the PCC at LAU. From Beirut, this is Palestine.
لو كان